The silent battlefield. A frigid rain pelts the grim courtyard of a prison fortress in Eastern Europe, 1944. The sky is a heavy shroud of grey, cloaking the muddy ground in gloom. Hundreds of young women stand in rigid lines, their faces pale as ash, eyes hollow from hunger and pain. Their clothes, tattered and soaked, cling to shivering bodies. The air smells of wet earth and despair. Black-cloaked guards pace the ranks, their boots squelching in the mud, barking orders. Speak, and you live. Silence answers them, broken only by the patter of rain and the faint, labored breaths of the prisoners. On the final day, hope seems extinguished. Many women slump, too weak to stand, their spirits teetering on the edge of surrender. Then, from the heart of the crowd, a hoarse, trembling voice rises. A melody of freedom, a forbidden resistance song. It belongs to Mira, a young woman at the center of the line, her face caked with dirt, but her lips curling into a defiant smile. One by one, the others join her, their voices frail but unyielding, rising above the rain. The camera pans from their soaked, muddied feet to faces alight with renewed faith, a flicker of defiance in their eyes. The song spreads like wildfire, each note a spark of rebellion. How could they remain silent through weeks of unimaginable torture? What force held them together in the face of death? The scene fades to a flashback, pulling us into the story of a song that shattered the silence and sparked a revolution. Before the capture, the seeds of rebellion. It is late 1944, and World War II has turned Eastern Europe, specifically the borderlands of Belarus and Poland, into a crucible of chaos. Amid the Nazi occupation, a clandestine resistance movement thrives, led by young women who smuggle weapons, provide medical aid, and hide military secrets. These women, often dismissed as powerless, are the backbone of the fight against tyranny. They operate in the shadows, passing coded messages under the guise of market vendors or nurses, their courage fueled by a shared vow to protect their people at all costs. Their daily lives are deceptively ordinary. Mira, a 20-year-old former student, once studied literature, dreaming of writing poetry. Anna, a farmer's daughter, knows the fields like her own skin, using her knowledge to guide resistance fighters through back roads. Elena, a trained nurse, patches up wounded partisans in secret barns. Sophia, a singer with a voice like a lark, uses her performances to pass messages. Katya and Lena, both orphans, slip through enemy lines as couriers, their youth a perfect disguise. Their bond is forged not in battle but in quiet moments, sharing bread, whispering dreams, vowing, "We are not soldiers, but we will fight to save lives." The arrests come swiftly, in a brutal nighttime raid. Nazi secret police storm villages, dragging over 200 women from their homes. Bound and beaten, they are herded into trucks under a snow-laced rain. Some try to sing a resistance anthem, only to be struck silent by rifle butts. The convoy rumbles through the night, the women's faces etched with fear but also defiance, their hands clutching one another in the dark. Historical accounts, like a supposed 1946 Gestapo report, describe such raids as routine, targeting women suspected of aiding the resistance. Their captures meant to crush the rebellion's spirit. The dungeon and psychological terror. The prison is a fortress of despair, its stone walls rising from a desolate forest. Inside, icy cells reek of mold, their floors slick with damp. The central courtyard, where prisoners are mustered, is a muddy expanse surrounded by barbed wire. A separate chamber, known as the Grey Room, houses the tools of torture, wooden wheels, spiked chairs, and ropes for Diao-Ren in midair. A fabricated 1946 Gestapo document details these methods, describing the room as a place where souls were broken before bodies. The guards' tactics are as psychological as they are physical. Prisoners are starved, given only stale crusts, and forced to stand for hours in the freezing rain. Interrogators offer bribes, food, warmth, freedom, to those who betray resistance hideouts. Yet the women hold fast to a vow, led by Mira. One traitor means 1,000 deaths. We stay silent. We save a generation. Their silence is not weakness, but a shield, protecting secrets that could turn the tide of war. The early days of torture. The torture begins with relentless cruelty. The wooden wheels, relics of medieval brutality, stretch limbs until joints pop. Iron clamps bite into wrists, drawing blood. Some women are forced onto spiked chairs, their screams echoing through the grey room. Guards dangle promises of home, a warm meal, or a mother's embrace, but none accept. The youngest, 15-year-old Lena, nearly breaks under the pain, her sobs filling the cell. But Mira pulls her close, whispering, "We are still alive." Her words a lifeline. The women sing softly in the dark, a resistance anthem to remind each other of their purpose. A supposed 1972 declassified God's Journal confesses, "I don't understand. They're not human. Iron bends easier than they do." The women's unity transforms the dungeon into a battlefield of wills, their whispered songs a rebellion against despair. Each lash, each turn of the wheel, tests their resolve, but they hold firm, their silence a louder defiance than any scream. The courtyard. The final test. Every day, the women are marched to the courtyard for roll call, standing in the biting rain as guards shout names. Those who collapse are dragged through the mud, doused with water, and forced to stand again. After 20 days, exhaustion claims many. The head guard, a towering figure in a black cloak, declares, "Tomorrow is your last chance. Speak or die." Doubt creeps into some hearts, but Mira's whisper cuts through. "If we live by betraying, that's the real death." Her words rekindle their resolve, a quiet fire in the rain-soaked gloom. The final night. A collapse seemed inevitable. The night before the deadline, rain hammers the prison roof, oil lamps flickering in the dark. Many women, starved and broken, slump to the cold ground, their strength fading. The guards, confident, believe dawn will bring confessions. Mira, lying awake, thinks of her village, her mother's face, and fields of golden wheat, clinging to these images to stay sane. Her heart aches, but her vow holds. She will not break. The others, sensing her strength, draw closer, their shared silence a final stand against surrender. The fateful morning. The song of freedom. At dawn, the women are dragged to the courtyard, lined up for execution. The air is thick with despair, many too weak to stand. Guards grip rifles, ready to end the standoff. Then, Mira's hoarse voice breaks the silence. A resistance anthem from their homeland, its melody soft but unyielding. Mud streaks her face, but her eyes blaze with defiance. The camera lingers on her, panning from her trembling lips to the spark in her gaze. Laughter, wild, free, erupts from her throat, shattering weeks of silence. One by one, the women rise, grasping hands, their voices joining Mira's. The song swells, drowning out the rain and the guards' shouts. The courtyard, once a place of fear, becomes a stage of rebellion. The guards, stunned, hesitate, their authority crumbling as the women stand tall, no longer kneeling. The liberators. An unexpected salvation. Miles away, a resistance unit hears the song, recognizing it as a coded signal. That night, they launch a daring assault on the prison. Explosions light the sky as partisans overwhelm the guards, who flee in panic. The wooden wheels are smashed, the grey room left in ruins. Mira, barely conscious, is hoisted onto her comrades' shoulders, still humming the anthem. The women, though battered, stand as one, their song echoing through the liberated fortress. After liberation, an enduring legacy. The cost is heavy. Many women succumb to wounds and starvation, their bodies too broken to survive freedom. Those who live like Mira become living legends, sharing their story with future generations. A supposed 1950 UN report calls their silent resistance a heroic example of human rights defiance. One shattered wheel, preserved in Warsaw's War Museum, stands as a symbol of their unbreakable spirit, its bloodstains a testament to their sacrifice. A flame in the rain. In 2001, a memorial rises where the prison once stood. A statue of hundreds of women, Standing in the rain, Mira smiling at the center. The narrator's voice closes. They were hungry, cold, and in pain, but none bowed. Their song still echoes, calling for freedom. Their faint anthem, born in a muddy courtyard, ignited a fire that burns through history, a reminder that even the weakest voice can shake the foundations of oppression.